This is my presentation on the effect of salmon on vitamin D levels in women during autumn. This is an intervention in vitamin D deficiency. Vitamin D plays a very important role within our bodies. It is not considered an essential vitamin. Nevertheless, consuming it is greatly beneficial to our health. According to the McGraw-Hill textbook, it regulates neuromuscular and immune function and reduces inflammation. Vitamin D also regulates calcium and phosphorus. So, how do we obtain vitamin D? We derive it from plants, animals, and synthesis through the sun. Vitamin D occurs in very low levels in most foods, with the exception of cod liver oil and salmon. As a result of the rarity of vitamin D, spending time in the sun between the hours of 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. when the sun is at its peak is very important for the synthesis of vitamin D. The recommended dietary intake, or RDA, for vitamin D is 15 to 20 micrograms per day. The problem that my selected study is trying to solve is the deficiency of vitamin D. Vitamin D is a very common deficiency that affects almost half of Americans, according to the McGraw-Hill textbook. In the fall and winter months, vitamin D is much harder to synthesize as the earth is tilted away from the sun and it is light for shorter periods of time. This deficiency, if prolonged, can lead to multiple conditions such as rickets and osteomalacia. Rickets is a condition that affects children and is characterized by soft and malleable bones. The children affected will often have misshapen limbs, such as legs that are crooked. Osteomalacia is a condition that affects adults and is characterized by soft bones as well. This is caused by a lack of calcium. Calcium cannot be absorbed as well without vitamin D. Thus, it is crucial to consume vitamin D to prevent this condition from forming. In Poland, where the study takes place, 22% of women have vitamin D levels that are below 25 nanomoles per liter. It is worth mentioning that the vitamin D levels required to be consumed to have enough of an adequate amount varies according to the United States National Institute of Health and the United Kingdom Royal Osteoporosis Society. Levels of vitamin D are below 30 nanomoles per liter is considered a deficiency, while according to the European Food and Safety Authority, levels below 50 nanomoles per liter is considered a deficiency. This creates quite a broad spectrum of people who are considered to be deficient, with some countries stating that 13% of their population is deficient, while others stating that up to 40% is deficient. Right here, I have a picture of the process by which vitamin D is synthesized in the body. The study that I am looking into tries to find a solution for the lack of vitamin D. This study was an 8-week-long intervention. 120 women were involved in the study. Participants were volunteers between the ages of 20 and 25 and were required to be at a healthy weight. The study took place at the Dietetic Outpatient Clinic of the Department of Dietetics in Warsaw, University of Life Sciences in Warsaw, Poland. These participants could not consume any supplements of vitamin D during the study and during the 3 weeks leading up to the study. The participants were randomly divided into 3 groups, one that consumed smoked salmon, one that consumed salmon sausage, and one that didn't consume any salmon as they were the control group. The participants were required to consume 5 micrograms of vitamin D daily. Other than the consumption of salmon, the participants were allowed to go about their normal lives. Now, it is also worth mentioning that the necessary amount of vitamin D per daily is 15 to 20 micrograms, so this amount is not enough to cover the whole amount needed for these individuals. The first group, the one consuming smoked salmon, was required to consume 25 grams of salmon a day, or about 175 grams per week. The participants could decide whether to eat the salmon daily and regularly, or consume double the amount some days of the week, as long as they met their weekly requirement. The second group was required to consume 70 grams per day of salmon sausage, or 700 grams per week, and they could also consume a double amount like the first group, The third group was a control group, and as such they ate no salmon and continued with their normal activities. The effects of salmon consumption on the participants was measured twice during the experiment. The study was divided into 2 sections, with each one being 4 weeks long. During the first part, 17 participants experienced an increase or at least the maintenance in their vitamin D levels. During the second half, 20% of participants experienced an increase or maintenance of their vitamin D levels. Overall, 9% of participants experienced an increase or maintenance of their vitamin D levels. It was found that the salmon group and the control group shared little differences in terms of their vitamin D levels. A decrease in the decline of vitamin D levels was found to be the lowest in the group that consumed salmon sausage. This indicates a positive influence of consuming 100 grams of salmon sausage on a daily basis. There were additional side effects reported by the participants throughout the study. 11% of the salmon sausage group, 32% of the smoked salmon group, and 3% of the control group reported improved dermatological health, while 7% of the salmon sausage group and 9% of the control group reported dermatological deterioration. The group that consumed smoked salmon reported more health improvements and less dermatological deterioration than the salmon sausage group. The other effects were noted as well. Specifically, in the group that consumed smoked salmon, 29% of participants stated that they had an improvement in their complexion, 3% noted healthier hair, and 3% noticed that their hair, nails, and skin improved. Meanwhile, of those consuming salmon sausage, 7% reported improved complexion, 4% had an improvement in her hair and nail condition, while 7% reported that their nail complexion was deteriorating. The control group experienced effects as well, with 3% of participants reporting an improvement in their complexion, but 6% stated that they had experienced a deterioration of their complexion, and 3% noticed poor health in their hair. A surprising result was concluded from the study, as the group that consumed smoked salmon and the control group showed little difference in terms of their vitamin D levels. Group 2, the group that consumed salmon sausage, showed the lowest decrease in their vitamin D levels. As a result, it was concluded that vitamin D loss can be slowed by consuming 100 grams of salmon per day. The results concluded that salmon can help maintain or lessen the decrease of vitamin D levels during the fall and winter months. A future study was deemed necessary, one where the origin of fish is considered as part of the study, as fish that are caught in the wild tend to have much higher levels of vitamin D than those that are raised on a farm. Future research should also consider the fat content that the participants consume, as the researchers hypothesized that fat intake may affect the bioavailability of salmon products, which may have been the cause of the best results lying in the salmon sausage, which had much higher fat content. And these are my citations.